Hello and welcome back to Mate's Tottenham blog and today's Tottenham versus Liverpool pre-game view. I'm joined by the Irish Hotspur David Harris and Luke from Rivalry Aside TV to discuss this game. We're going to look at some potential injury news we've heard from Jose Mourinho today and a whole lot more. We'll be joined by Sim from We Are Tottenham TV in about 15 minutes and Craig from the Anfield Agenda will be here for an opposition preview in about 30 minutes as well. So I can promise you'll want to stick around for this one. First of all, Luke, it's your first time on the channel. How are you getting on?
Yeah. Thanks very much for having me on. Yeah, it's good. It's really good to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. And David, you're here almost every day at this stage. How are you today?
Absolutely loving it, Matty. I'm pumped for this game. I really do believe we need revenge tomorrow night, and we need to be ruthless. So roll on Anfield or roll on Liverpool.
Absolutely. It's such an important game, and it's one that could almost be season defining. It's strange that a month and a half ago it was a title game, and right now it's looking like it could just be a top four game. But Luke, first of all, what have you made of kind of how our seasons have gone, both Spurs and Liverpool, since that game at Anfield?
Yeah, it's been tricky, isn't it, since that game? I think kind of both sides of form have been off since before. We were great just before that game. That was kind of the end of a really, really difficult run, wasn't it? Obviously, we had Leicester after, but I think a few things changed, didn't they? Obviously, game against Sheffield United, we changed tactics a little bit, which me personally, I think worked better, having kind of three centre-backs, if you can call Ben Davies the left-sided centre-back, and playing that way seemed to work a little bit better, and I think it gives Reguilon and Aurier freedom. So in my opinion, I hope that they do actually play that formation against Liverpool. Yeah,
and just on the point of those fullbacks, David, we heard Jose Mourinho today talking about some potential injuries in the Spurs squad on top of the ones that we had for the Wickham game on Monday. Now we know Serge Aurier and Matt Doherty, of course, missed that Wickham game, and we haven't really gotten much of an update as to whether or not they'll be available for this game tomorrow. And now Spurs fans have noticed there are no pictures of Ben Davies or Sergio Reguilon in training today. Could we actually be going into this game without a fullback? And if so, how damaging could that be for us?
No, I don't think so, Matty. I think it's mind games. Mourinho up to his old tricks. He does it for every big game. Look, it's very easy to edit a picture to not have Ben Davies and Reguilon in it. Look, I do think it's mind games, but if it's not, a left back could be a problem. There is rumours circulating that young Dennis Cirkin could start. I have been calling for it, but I don't think Liverpool is the right game for him to play. For me, I think if Reguilon and Davies aren't playing, I think you will see Tanganga left back like he did on his debut against Liverpool last year. But for me, look, I think it's a huge loss if we don't start Reguilon from the very start, if he's not available. Because for me, he's the sort of player like Ben Davies had an amazing game at Anfield. Let's get that right first. He had a very good game at Anfield. But when he took the ball off Salah, he just kicked the ball straight back to the centre-backs. This is why Reguilon is so important, especially at home, because he can get the ball and he's confident enough to drive forward with it. And that's exactly what we're going to need against Liverpool as an out option.
Yeah, it's, fullbacks have just become such an important part of our style and stuff like that. And Luke, David touched on it there that Davies had such a fantastic performance against Liverpool at Anfield. Do you think if Davies and Reguilon are fit, who would you start in left-back?
Yeah, just before that Anfield game, I said we had a show on our channel. I said Ben Davies would start left back, and the question then got asked on another channel, and some of the Spurs people laughed at it. But it was the best option in my opinion because he's the more defensive fullback. But if we play, which I would prefer to play, with three centre backs and then two wing backs, then you could end up playing both of them. Because Jose Mourinho does like to play Ben Davies as a left-sided centre-back and then have Reguilon as a more attack-minded wing-back. So that would work better. But as you say, if for any reason there are no full-backs, you'd have to play Tanganga right-back. And then, as you say, who knows who we'd play. It's not like we've got Vertonghen anymore who can just slot into left-back,
Yeah, those are the good old days we could had. But I remember we played, it was a Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League one day, and he was out left back against Jadon Sancho, and he made Jadon Sancho look like the 30-something-year-old. David, coming to you from Rivalry Aside TV, which of course where Luke is coming to us from. Do you guys not think it's a dangerous game? This one, if Liverpool click, which it has to come soon, it could be very dangerous for Spurs. And it's a great point. Liverpool without a goal in 3 of the last 4 Premier League games, or without a win in almost a month, it has to come better for them at some stage, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, it is going to come right at some stage, and someone is going to be on the receiving end of it. But it's not going to be Jose Mourinho, and it's not going to be Tottenham. I can tell you that now. I'm probably the most comfortable I have ever been going into a Liverpool game, to be honest with you. They're there for the taking. They're a wounded animal. It's time we put our foot down on their neck and take the 3 points. At the end of the day, we need the 3 points more than what they do at the minute. Like, yeah, I get it, they're defending the league title, but I still think they're going to be thereabouts at the end of the season. For us, I think we need to win this and build the momentum going into Brighton, Chelsea, City. And we come out of all them games with a win. We're firmly in a title race, believe it. But for me, look, yeah, I agree, they will come good. But I also did say before the Liverpool game last time, I think the cycle is coming to an end at Liverpool. And I think I'm being proven right.
Absolutely. And you made a point there about the title race where, at the moment we're 6th in the Premier League table. Everton are playing Leicester tonight. And if Everton manage to come out on top in that game, we'll be pushed down to 7th before a ball is even kicked in this game. Mm-hmm. But the other side of things is, say United weren't playing tonight, because they're going to get their 3 points against Sheffield United, but we're a win away from being 4 points off the top of the table. Luke, it's such a strange season, and how congested everything is, and how, if you're looking at the teams in the top 6, top 7, maybe more than likely excluding the likes of West Ham, Everton, and possibly Leicester, it seems to be anybody's title at the moment. So it'd be interesting to get your take. Do you think we're actually still in a title race?
Yeah, I'm kind of a completely different Spurs fan. I think that, calling us in a title race, getting that kind of bigging myself up is a dangerous game to play, isn't it? As Spurs fans, this is the perfect game for us to lose, in the sense of this is how it would usually be. Going to a game where the confidence is high, where everyone thinks we're going to win, where Liverpool are in poor form, and then we put out a poor display. It happens a lot of the time. But you do have to have some form of confidence in the sense that Liverpool struggled to score goals. The only last time they scored a couple against United in the FA Cup, but before that hadn't scored a goal in 4 games. So it's about how the mentality is for Spurs. In terms of title race, we've got to play Liverpool, obviously. Then we're up to 19 games, and then obviously we have another game in hand for the Aston Villa game. So win both of those games, and we are firmly towards the top of the table. So I wouldn't write it off, but it is a strange season, and anyone could win it.
Yeah, for me, it just kind of feels like that 2015-16 season when it was Leicester who won the league. There's so many of the big teams that seem to be in a period of transition. Tottenham, of course, being one of them, trying to find our best or kind of form under Jose Mourinho. You've Chelsea at the moment, of course, appointing Thomas Tuchel tonight. Arsenal, thankfully, just seem to be in free fall. But there are teams like United and Man City who are coming a lot stronger at the moment, David. We saw Manchester City without Kevin De Bruyne still managed to put 5 past West Brom last night. And Manchester United have won 11 or 12 games already this season. Do you think there's any danger of the Manchester clubs running away with us? Or do you think, in United's position especially, that there is a kind of element of fraudulence maybe in the word about where they are in the table?
Yeah, United are frost. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I told you before, he's not winning the title. He's not the manager that's going to win United in the Premier League. I do believe United will fall off the pace. When the European games come back around, that's where I think you're going to see United drop off the league. They're not able for 3 games a week. You've seen it before when they were in the group stages and everything else. For me, look, City, I wouldn't read too much into it. Do you know what I mean? You could put me out there and I'd slap West Brom myself. They're shit. Let's be honest, they are useless. And one thing I will say to Tottenham fans is we may be in transition, but Jose still has us challenging all 4 fronts. So if he gets that right and we go on a good run and start playing some amazing football, why can't we win the league?
Exactly. I love that mentality. And I'm kind of in the same position now than I was, 2-3 games into the season when things really started to look as though it could be the kind of season we have ended up having. I think Tottenham are in a title race as much as I do think every other team is in a title race. And it's about that team who can find the most consistency. I don't think it's going to come down to quality this season. It's going to be the team who can grind out those results. Now, of course, Tottenham have looked like the team who can't do that with the results against Fulham, Crystal Palace, Wolves, West Ham, Newcastle. The list goes on. And like United, that there was the win they got at home to Burnley, they do seem to have what it takes to grind those games out. But it's such a long season. We've already seen this season so far how so many things have changed. At one stage it looked as though after 5-6 games everything could be in a title race, and now they're kind of just clinging on to European football at the moment. Chelsea earlier in the season, after spending £250 million, it looked like they could be a team right up there, and they're of course just after sacking their manager. And then on the flip side, like I said about United and City, and then coming strong lately. Jake is saying what's up with Reguilon. There's no confirmed details on this one, but Jose Mourinho said in his press conference today that there are extra injury concerns that we haven't known about in the past, and he doesn't want to give any names, but Spurs fans, being the detectives that we are, found that Davis and Reguilon weren't in the training photo, so there's a bit of concern there that maybe Reguilon could be one of those players. That is out. Rivalry Side TV here as well, saying with Jurgen Klopp in charge, don't expect Liverpool to keep throwing it away. However, Burnley won, Villa won. Interesting. So Burnley have actually found an equaliser against Villa. I knew Villa were 1 up at half time, but Luke, Liverpool in the past have been described as these mentality giants. If any manager is going to turn it around for Liverpool, isn't it going to be Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah, you think so, don't you? You know, they play a free flowing attacking style of football, don't they? Different to how Spurs play. But at some point, you will get found out in ways to be able to break that down. And as everyone keeps saying, I must have heard this 10 times this week, the low block, as all Liverpool fans talk about. You know, they do struggle against sides like that. The only downside for us playing them, unlike when they played Burnley, is that we are susceptible for crosses and are susceptible to some set pieces. So that would be a concern for me going into this game. I think they had something like 50-odd crosses in the game against Burnley. But Burnley were much more capable of defending those set pieces. That's what they do in, day out. So, but yeah, if anyone's going to turn this around for Liverpool, it's going to be Klopp.
Absolutely.
Just to add to that, sorry, Matty. I believe they're at a position we were at with Pochettino, to be honest. I'm firmly starting to believe this, that like, you know, where the players, like, there's only so long the players can keep playing at that pace, that intensity, and with that mindset before they start getting tired and need a refresh and need new ideas. And for me, it's starting to look like Jurgen Klopp is in a similar position as Poch. He will see out the season. For me, if he doesn't get the right investment in to reinvigorate their squad, he will get the start next season. But I think his time is coming to an end at Liverpool. It's a big statement, I know, but I firmly believe it. And you know me, Matty, I'm never too far on.
No, that's absolutely true. And David Shane is saying here, David talking rubbish again, nothing new there. But look, it was a big statement. People said people are talking rubbish when we said it about, well, not me, but when some fans did say it about Mauricio Pochettino at the time. You know, it was always a case of, it's Pochettino, he'll turn it around. It's just a blip in form in this. So I personally don't think it is the same sort of situation at Liverpool, but 5-6 years into their project as well, it's definitely it's possible. Martin here saying a team with Eric Dier cannot win the league. It's impossible. And David, you've been talking all window about how much we needed a centre back, how much we needed to invest, and it doesn't look like we're going to do that. You know, Dele Alli might be going to PSG, but only if we get a replacement. I can't see that happening. But on the point of a centre back, is Eric Dier something that's holding us back?
Look, I actually think he's been one of our best defenders defensively. It's on the ball. He's not good enough on the ball. You know, he just gives the ball away too much to the opposition, which again invites pressure onto us. But look, Jose Mourinho, he won the Champions League with Porto when they were a relatively unknown quantity. He came into Chelsea, he won leagues with them, and for me, I'm telling you now, I wouldn't write it off. He gets this team to click and gel over this month and the start of February. I'm telling you now, you'll see a reinvigorated Tottenham, you'll see a brand new Eric Dier, and away we go. I'm telling you now, I'm convinced we're on to great things this year. I'm convinced. Look, a lot of people are slating Eric Dier, but what people need to realise is look, it's clear to see Toby Alderweireld's days at Tottenham are numbered. He's not the same player he was. You know, you have young Joe Rodon, you have young Tanganga, and we know Sanchez is on his way out, hopefully in the summer. So for me, Eric Dier is your long-term option until we go and invest in that centre-back. And even when we do buy in a centre-back, he will be playing beside Eric Dier until you go and get another world-class centre-back. So for me, I know a lot of people hate Dier, but you're just going to have to start getting behind the guy. It's as simple as that. He's your long-term option. So just get behind him. Look, if he said to me that we're never going to win a league with Harry Winks in the team, I'm all for it. I believe him. But the thing is, Eric Dier is our best centre-back at the minute, so just get behind the guy. I think, honestly, a lot of people judge him very harshly. I do. Look, to be honest with you, he wasn't even in the team under Poch. He is a fringe player that is now a starting player. I get people's frustrations, but it is what it is. You never write off Jose, never write off Tottenham.
Absolutely. Ben here from Rivalry Side TV saying he looks forward to the debate about the end of Klopp with you, David. If you do go on, he said it won't end well. Luke, on the point of the transfer window, what were your kind of hopes and expectations going into this transfer window? And do you think maybe holding on to some of the players we thought may be leaving kind of glosses over the fact we didn't sign anybody? Yeah,
maybe. I think January is always difficult. I think you don't want to sign somebody for no reason. You know, Liverpool, for example, need a centre-back. I don't think they'll get one this window. And that will add fuel to the fire for Klopp, for example. You know, he's already frustrated as it is with that. But in terms of Spurs, realistically, what do we need? Do we necessarily need a centre-back right now? You know, it's a really, really tricky one. If he wants to go at 3 at the back and he trusts Ben Davies more of a left-sided centre-back, play him there. But the Eric Dier debate and Alderweireld debate is very difficult. I think Alderweireld's a much better defender than Eric Dier. Eric Dier started at defensive midfield. Then he went to right back. Now he's a centre back. The reason why he plays game in, game out is because Mourinho loves him. He wanted him at United and he loves him at Spurs. Whether he's our long-term centre back is very, very debatable. But we're never going to spend 40, 50 million pounds on a centre back in January, especially during the current times. So I think we'd be better off keeping Dele Alli than trying to get Eriksen, for example. Mm-hmm. On 300 grand a week, 100% of his wages. To me, it's a no-go. He scored a worldie last night, but what's he done for the last 6 months? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just on that, I do agree with you that Alderweireld is better than Dier, but the thing is, form isn't showing that. For me, look, it's all about form, and Eric Dier is in better form than Toby Alderweireld. I do believe that.
Yeah. I agree with that as well. I think he is in better form, but as a better defender, it's questionable, isn't it? Is he out of form because of the games he's not playing regularly? When you see Spurs play, it's either Dier Rodon, Dier Sanchez, Dier Alderweireld. It's always Dier. So, the game against Wickham did not show Toby in a good light whatsoever. Yeah. That huge forward just had a field day with him, didn't he? And Sanchez, was in no good form either. So we have got a tricky situation. But to me, maybe Tanganga can play right-sided centre-back long-term. I don't know. It's a really difficult question. We do like Tanganga because he's a young kid from the academy. But is he a long-term title-winning centre-back? Only time will tell, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think
yeah.
Fingers crossed. I think it's a bit concerning that we are having so many questions around so many positions in our team. But anyway, Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Before we let you go, do you want to let us know where we can find you on YouTube and Twitter?
Yeah, so you can just find us at Rivalry Aside TV on YouTube and Twitter. And thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for Luke. Everyone, make sure to go over and check out Rivalry Side TV, a fantastic channel where debates between fans of three different clubs, like Liverpool and Arsenal, joining there. So Luke, of course, supports the best team. But there's some good debates on there. Thanks so much for joining us, Luke. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Before we get on Sim from We Are Tottenham TV, I just want to say to everyone who is watching, if you are new to the channel and you want more of these live streams, live watch-alongs, transfer shows, exclusive interviews, any Spurs content you could want, make sure to go down and smash that subscribe button down below and hit the like button as well if you are enjoying the stream. And now, from the best Spurs channel there is out there, I will bring in Sim from We Are Tottenham TV. How are you getting on, Sim?
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Matt. Pleasure as always. David, always good to see you, mate. How you doing?
Oh, good. Same to you, Sim. It's a pleasure to have you on. It's good to have you on Matty's channel. I'm sure we're in for a good discussion.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your time, Sim. Hugely appreciate it. Look, first of all, we have to get your thoughts going into this game, Sim. Like we said, it was a title game last December. It looks like a game for a top four race. How would you see this one panning out? Do you think Tottenham may have the edge given recent form?
Not just so much form, I just think how we approach these kind of bigger games, and you've seen how Liverpool struggled against the likes of Burnley, Newcastle, West Brom. They don't like having to break down a low block. When you make them work for it, they're not as sharp in the front areas as they were at the beginning of the season or even last season. So Jose knows exactly what to do to make it difficult for them. He's going to make it as hard as possible for them to create chances. And that's going to lead to frustration. And they only know one way of playing Liverpool, and that's to press very, very high up, leave a lot of space in behind. And I'm sure, I know we weren't clinical in the game at Anfield, but with us being at home, I think we've improved a bit after going through a sticky patch. So I'm sure we're going to create good quality chances when we play against them. And I just think we're the type of team Liverpool probably don't want to be facing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to be honest, any team at the moment is a bit of a problem for Liverpool. But we're a team who can play to their weaknesses in almost everything we do in terms of that low block, as you mentioned, and of course playing on the transition. But Liverpool, of course, have huge concerns of their own. And David, we'll come to you first on this one. Mane, Salah and Firmino just have not been at it this season. Without a goal in 3 of the last 4 league games, of course Salah got a brace against Manchester United at the weekend. But how concerned are Liverpool going to be with the team, that the players that usually carry their team just aren't able to do it?
Yeah, if I was them, I'd be very concerned. Look, Ben Davies unzips his pocket and all you can hear is Mo Salah saying, let me out. He still has him in his pocket. Look, for me, the only concern I would have is Mane up against Aurier. As good as Aurier's been, there's always a mistake in him. And even if it goes on 80, 85 minutes, Mane tends to get a bit of joy out of Warrior. Salah, for me, he's more of an instinct player. I'm not too worried. Firmino, he only scores against Tottenham. That's my biggest concern. He literally only scores against Tottenham. Doesn't score against anybody else. The guy really pisses me off. I'd love to give him a nugget, honestly. But look, for me, I'm not too concerned. It's the most confident I've ever been going in against Liverpool. They broke my heart so many times. And like I said, now is the time for revenge. I honestly do think we're going to beat them. And I think we're in for a big win tomorrow. I think tomorrow is where everything comes together as one big crescendo, and we go on and we spank the pool. That's what I think.
And what a fantastic moment that would be. Sim, it's not just their front three that aren't firing. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back having a terrible season. Of course, their midfield weakened, ironically, from their defensive woes, with the players like Fabinho, Henderson being known to drop back into defence. On Trent, first of all, why do you think this has happened to him? And first of all, how can we exploit that tomorrow?
Yeah, first of all, the thing with Trent is he's never been the best defender, even in his heyday. Even when he was at his best, he's never been the best defensively. So now that his output is starting to wane a bit, his crossing hasn't been anywhere near as the quality it's been the past couple of years. And as soon as that started to decline, even a tiny bit, all of a sudden he starts to be a liability in the team because he can't make up for it defensively like other players. We can definitely exploit that because you saw against Man United that even though his form might not be the best, he's still in that final third constantly. He's constantly overlapping Salah. He's constantly being an option. And he just leaves so much space in behind. He leaves tons of space on the right-hand side. And Son or Bergwijn, whoever plays on the left-hand side, could definitely exploit that because he's just marauding forward all the time without a care in the world almost. And if Klopp was clever, he would maybe instruct him not to go forward as much. But with Liverpool, they have one way. They have a system of playing which worked for them, and I can't see them abandoning it for this game. In terms of Liverpool in their woes, I agree with you. I think Van Dijk and Gomez hasn't just hurt them defensively. I think offensively as well, it's given them a lot of trouble because they like to build from the back. They play out from the back on the ground, and with Fabinho and Henderson a bit further back, it's more difficult for them to do that. And also, when they do go forward like they do, they don't have that trust at the back as they did before. When they know they'll have Van Dijk and Gomez mopping everything up, it's not the same. They don't have the same confidence in their back line. So I feel like it's hurt them a lot. And although in the short term, they were okay dealing with those injuries, I always felt like in the long term, over a long season, it was going to hurt them at some point. And I think we're seeing that at the moment.
And it's such a pleasure to watch, isn't it? Jurgen Klopp coming out and crying in his post-game interviews, and the Liverpool fans going quiet on Twitter. It's something we haven't had for a while, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Sim, I want to get your thoughts as well on Thiago, because Liverpool fans are talking about him like he can make a 5-yard pass back to Alisson, and they'll be saying he's better than it's everything he does. They seem to fall in love with him, but he's made 5 starts for Liverpool. They've drawn 2 and lost 3 of those games. There's people talking about Didi Hamann mentioned it. He kind of slows down Liverpool, and if anything, his play in midfield is a detriment to what they're trying to produce. What do you make of the whole thing with Thiago?
Spanish Harry Winks, so he's great. No.
Of course.
In all seriousness, he's definitely having an adaptation period. He hasn't hit the ground running. I think in terms of Fulham, in terms of Liverpool's system, how they like to play, they have never had a midfielder like Thiago in central midfield before, like a proper ball possession player who he's at his best when teams are sitting deep against him, and he's keeping the ball ticking, looking to break down the back four. He's almost like a Modric or an Iniesta. He's not the kind of player who is really in the final third making that final pass. He likes to set plays up and gets the ball to the attackers quickly. But he's definitely in an adjustment period at the moment, because usually when they have Wijnaldum, when they have Henderson and Fabinho in that central midfield, you wouldn't say any of those players have the skill set Thiago has, but what they do have is they're very hard workers. They're very physical. They get in your face. They're very intense in their pressing. And that leads to a lot of turnovers, a lot of transition, which allows them to get the ball to Salah and Mane a lot quicker and in a lot more space. Now, Thiago, in theory, should be able to do that because his superior technique should be able to get the ball to Mane and Salah quickly. But physically, he's not on the same level as those three. So he's not very good at winning the ball back. He's not very good at being physically imposing in the centre. So they got to figure out a way of fitting him in the team and a way of playing with him. I'm sure they'll do it because I think he's a world-class player. I'm a big, big fan of Thiago. And despite the fact that in the first few games hasn't gone quite right, I still think he's going to be a big success at Liverpool. And I think he's a touch of class. I really do. And he's shown it throughout his career whenever he's been. And I think Liverpool bought him for a specific reason. I think I know he got an injury very early on, but I think he's had to bed his way into the side, and he hasn't been allowed to do that because of injuries. He's kind of just been shoved in there whenever he's been fit. But I think if in a fully fit team, I think you'd see a better Thiago. And Grealish has just scored for Villa. It's 2-1. That's a shame.
2-1. So some points coming on the board there for Villa. Fantastic summary there of what Thiago can offer to Liverpool. Of course, it's not working at the moment, but I fully agree with you on that, Sim. And David, one thing Liverpool fans say about Thiago is that he's one of the most press-resistant players in world football. I think he wears a white jersey, and it's Tanguy and Ndombele. And we saw them against Sheffield United playing in the double pivot with Højbjerg. And he was really effective in there. We know when he plays more advanced, he's even more effective. What formation do you think we should play going into this game, and which role do you think Ndombele should take up?
I think you play a 4-3-3. You match Liverpool up. I'd be playing Ndombele to the left-hand side of Højbjerg, but a bit further forward, to be honest with you. When we get the ball, you want him to kind of push further forward between Sissoko and Højbjerg into more of an advanced centre attacking midfield role. And for me, this, like, Liverpool fans coming into this game, make no mistake about this, Liverpool fans coming into this game confident they're going to turn us over. But one thing they didn't face at Anfield was Reguilon at left back and Ndombele in midfield. Ndombele was playing some of the best ball we've ever seen him play, and I firmly believe he's going to make a difference tomorrow. He's a sort of player, he can make a step over, take two players out of the game and play Son, Kane, or even Bergwijn on the right, out wide. Do you know what I mean? Just play them through and create chances. And for me, like, for the amount of chances we created at Anfield, if we would have had Ndombele playing, which we should have, I think the only reason why he didn't play at Anfield is because, look, his work rate off the ball wasn't great back then. So that's probably why he didn't play. But for me, he's going to make a real difference tomorrow. And I think they're facing a different animal with Ndombele in midfield. Just to touch on Thiago, for me, everyone kisses this guy's hoop. To be honest with you, I actually don't think I think he would have been better off going to Levante in Spain rather than Liverpool in England. I don't think the Premier League suits him. I think for me, we can definitely target him. He's not physical enough whatsoever. He's already cost him the loss against United by ducking out the way of the free kick. He cost him the penalty against Burnley for pulling out with a header. So for me, this guy, you need to press him, you need to smash him, and you need to take the ball off him, and that's how we get at Liverpool. A lot of Liverpool fans saying this guy needs to play 10 yards further forward. It doesn't matter. He slows the play down. I watched them against United. Trent Alexander and Robertson, they're having to hold their runs at that split second, which means they're not getting the balls in behind the back four like they used to, because Thiago's too slow on the ball. He is too slow on the ball. For me, he actually hinders Liverpool, and I hope he starts. I really do hope he starts, because Højbjerg and Ndombele are going to eat that lad for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's as simple as that. A lot of people are giving Liverpool respect right now. For me, I think their time is coming to an end. There's no point of being afraid of them. Let's go out there, let's smash them, and Ndombele is going to play a massive, massive role in the middle of the park tomorrow. I'm convinced he's going to absolutely destroy Henderson. He's going to destroy Thiago and Wijnaldum. Imagine one of them trying to come in and jostle him off the ball. It's never going to happen. The guy's an absolute tank. You know what I mean? He may as well have an army around him. You're not taking the ball off of his class.
Yeah, look, I think, David, one day we need to get you in that dressing room so you can pump these players up before a game like this. Mr. K is saying here, what did you make of Winks getting tackled hard time and time again? The way he rode the tackles, made his passing, got up straight away after getting floored. Winks, he's played well in recent weeks. So I've been a critic.
They didn't have a chance, did they? As soon as Winks was in the lineup, Wickham had no chance.
What did you make of his performance then? And do you think he might get the nod in this game against Liverpool?
I think his performance did put him in the running, but I would be tempted. I think what Mourinho will do is go three at the back. I do think he'll do that against Liverpool. I think for this game, I don't know if you heard anything. Is Reguilon and Davis out? I heard rumours that they're not been training or anything or something. I don't know if that's any truth in that.
Yeah, apparently.
There's, Jose Mourinho said in his press conference that there are fresh injury issues. It's not ones we've had recently or ones that he wants to talk about. But Davis and Reguilon weren't seen in the training photos, so I think some fans have.
That's the worry, isn't it? If they're both out, that's going to be a big blow. I'm not sure who would play at left back. If Davis and Reguilon are both fit, I'll start them both. I'd put Davis at left centre back. I'll put Reguilon at left back and left wing back, and I'd have a back to Dier, Rodon, and Aurier at the right back. I think that's the best way to combat it. I think Reguilon and Davis would have enough to cope with Salah, and the way Davis coped with Salah last time as well. I also feel like if we played 3-4-3, we had Bergwijn, Son, and Kane up top. Kane can come and drop into midfield to help out with the midfield workload if we're getting outrun in midfield. We have we have Son and Bergwijn able to exploit the space in behind the fullbacks when Kane drops deep. And I feel like we have the cover on the wings with Aurier Rodon covering the right with Bergwijn dropping back, and we have Reguilon and Davis both comfortable and going into fullback positions as well. And then obviously you got Ndombele and Højbjerg patrolling the midfield. The only worry I'd have in that formation is obviously would Højbjerg and Ndombele get overrun if Henderson, Wijnaldum, Thiago plays. That's one of the worries, but you'd have to hope Kane ups his workload and drops into midfield and helps out in that case. But for me, that would be the best formation to go with. Other than that, I'd maybe take out Rodon and put in Sissoko, add some extra energy and legs in midfield if we were to go with 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1. That's the other option. But I think Winks, is he right for this game? I think he could play in this game. I wouldn't see Winks in the lineup and think we're doomed, but because I did think he had a really good game against Wickham, and I actually think especially of late since the Leeds game, whenever he's played, I think he's been pretty solid. So I think he's definitely in Jose's thoughts, but I just think for this game, for me, I would go 3 at the back.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And you talk possibly being overrun in midfield, but the majority of our first team players have had an 11-day break since their last league game. So potentially there'll be fresh legs there. But Sim, just before we let you go, what is your score prediction for this game? And I suppose you can tell us where to find you on YouTube, but I think everybody knows already.
I said in my preview I'm going to go 2-0 Spurs. I'm going to go the very similar scoreline that we got against City and we got against Arsenal, and I expect a very similar performance. I expect very dogged. I expect us to be very, very aggressive in defence. I expect us to make it very, very difficult for Liverpool to create chances, and I expect us to frustrate them. And if they do start to get frustrated, I can see the cracks starting to form, and especially with the form they've been on, if we do go 1-0 up and they're getting frustrated, I really believe that that's going to be very beneficial to us. And I think if we do go 1-0 up, I think the doubts will start to creep in their mind, and that bad feeling will start to come back that they've been having the past few weeks. The only thing I would worry about is against Man United. Even though they lost, I did think they looked a lot better in that game than they have been playing a lot recently, and especially they'll create a lot more chances. So, it's 2-2. Burnley just scored. That's good. 2-2, I believe. But yeah, I'm going 2-0. And if we do win this game, it really puts us in a very good position in the league. And all Arsenal have to say is, even though we've lost all these games, 6 points behind with a game in hand instead of 3, because I've never heard of clubs say that so often. Every bloody season they say it.
Yeah, they enjoy it and don't realise how much that suits our narrative.
I've never seen a club be so happy with, we're only X points behind this club. They're so happy about it.
Imagine this was a team that was in the elite European competitions. We were a nobody to them. We're the noisy neighbours. Imagine being in that position to now looking up at us the whole time saying, we're only this amount of points behind. They're an absolute disgrace to the English Premier League. They're a disgrace to England. And to be honest with you, I hope their club falls and goes bankrupt. I'm sick of them. All they are is the noisy neighbours. They're an absolute joke of a fan base as well.
And also, they used to say back in the day, about 10 years ago, they used to say, we're having our worst season ever, but we're still X amount of points above Spurs. That shows how bad they are, but it shows the decline they've become.
Exactly. They'll never shut up. We'll never get rid of them. Anyway, Sim, thanks so much for your time today. It was a massive pleasure having you on, as always. And hope to talk to you again soon.
Pleasure's all mine. Look forward to seeing you after the Liverpool game. Hope to see both of you. Looking forward to it.
We'll be there, don't worry.
Nice one,
the Irish duo will be there to bring the vibes. Don't worry about that, Tim.
I can't wait.
Cheers, Tim. See you soon.
I'll see you.
Just before we get Craig from the Anfield Agenda on, I just want to say, anyone, if you are new to the channel and you're enjoying this stream and you want more of this content, plus a live watch along coming tomorrow and some more content for the Brighton game at the weekend, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well so you get notified whenever we upload or go live. And now for our opposition preview, I'm absolutely delighted to say we're joined by Craig from the Anfield Agenda. Craig, how are you getting on?
How are you, gents? Lovely to talk to you. Hope you're all well. I was really enjoying the Arsenal edition, by the way. That was brilliant. I was cracking up back there while I was waiting to come in. They are the noisy neighbours. You're right. Fuck them.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. It's actually a pleasure to be sitting here talking to you. I do watch a lot of your videos. My favourite one, I have to say, was when you absolutely went mad at United and then you got whooped by Villa. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was karma coming back to kick me in the backside. I earned all the banter I got from that one. I got to take it on the chin. What can you say?
Look,
that's all about the friendly banter.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Craig, it's a huge game tomorrow. Absolutely huge game for both clubs. Liverpool, who some will argue are in decline at the moment. Look, it is down to injuries and stuff like that. Spurs a bit inconsistent with their form. Do you think it's time for Liverpool to turn things around tomorrow?
Look, it's not going to be easy. I'm under no illusions that this is going to be a very difficult game. In my preview, I went with a 2-2 prediction for this, and I'm just wondering what Liverpool show up, and I'm wondering what way Mourinho sets you guys up. I mean, I've got to say the resurgence of Ndombele has been a thing of beauty for you guys. I mean, the goal he scored against Wickham the other day was ridiculous. To see Harry Kane reinvent his game the way he has, to allow Son to almost get the limelight at times has been it's been horrible to watch from the outside, I have to say. But it is going to be a very, very difficult one, and it's a game that deserves a full stadium. Unfortunately, it would have been lovely. I've been lucky enough to visit your new stadium actually last year, and I was blown away. It was amazing. I'm just worried about what Liverpool shows up tomorrow. I mean, I've got an 11 in mind that I think Klopp will go with, but at the end of the day, you know, it's the old adage. I think the first goal or an early goal in this game could set the tone for the entire game.
Yeah, it really could. And Rugby Side TV were on a bit earlier saying, Craig, have a word. Apparently, Klopp era coming to an end. David was saying earlier in the stream, he thinks similar to what happened with Pochettino at Spurs, he thinks the Klopp effect could be raining out of Liverpool. Do you think think the end of Klopp's time at Liverpool is in sight, or is it just a case of getting through a tough period?
I don't think it's the end of the Klopp era, but I do think it could be the end of this group. I think it could be time for Klopp to evolve into a second team. You know, teams work 3 and 4 year cycles, and I will never sit here and talk about or question the mentality of the group of players that we have after what they've done, coming back from losing the Champions League final to win one, coming back from losing the league with 97 points to go and win it the next year. So I think there's enough goodwill in the bank. I think it's over to the owners now. The owners need to put up in the summer and give Klopp what he wants. And I think we'll be fine. We've got some great young players coming through as well. Obviously, we've got Harvey Elliott out there on Blackburn. He's doing really well. We're all very proud.
I think we might have lost your audio there, Craig. No, we can't hear you. Do you want to try to sort that out? We'll have a word with David. David, Henderson and Matip are expected to be back for Liverpool tomorrow. You know, it's a bolster for defensively, first of all, to have Matip with Fabinho, and then maybe in midfield with Henderson, who is getting back in there, who is so pivotal to their midfield. Do you think these injury boosts could help Liverpool's mentality coming into this one?
Look, to be honest with you, I don't want Henderson starting tomorrow, because for me, he'll bring legs, he'll bring energy into this Liverpool team, and he'll be able to get them back on that press again. So for me, I definitely don't want Henderson starting. Look, he's not the most gifted footballer, but he does bring a lot to the Liverpool team. For me, Matip, if I was Kane, I'd be sitting on Matip. There's no way he's ready for this game at this level, at this intensity. So I think he should sit on Matip. He'll get a lot of joy out of him. Matip is only like a 6'6" pole. That's all he is. He's no good, in my opinion. To be honest with you, the main man they need back is Virgil van Dijk. For me, for the first 20 minutes, I want Kane to sit on Matip. After that, then, if we can go win a nick a goal, then you start getting Kane dropping deep, picking up the ball and spraying out to Son and Bergwijn and try and go for the second. But look, the biggest one I don't want playing tomorrow is Henderson. I actually hope he's on the bench, and if he's on the bench, it's going to help us out massively. I really do believe that. Look, I'm just so confident going in tomorrow. I really do think we are going to wipe the floor at Liverpool tomorrow. I think we are in for a big victory. Like I said, they're a wounded animal. And for me, look, a lot of people are giving Liverpool respect, rightly so. But at the end of the day, lads, how many times have they hurt us? We need to get rid of this Spurs mentality, this Dr. Tottenham mentality, and go into the game behind the lads, behind Mourinho, with full belief that we can turn them over. There's no better time to do it than now. I just really do hope that Henderson does not start tomorrow, because for me, he brings the legs, he brings the energy, and you will see that pressing game happen, and I don't want it to happen. I think if they go with Thiago, Wijnaldum, and if Henderson doesn't play, it could be Curtis Jones. I think we will get a bit of joy out of them. But look, it doesn't matter. To be honest, it doesn't matter who plays. Play Henderson. We have end on baller. He's going to absolutely rip them to shreds tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Craig, I know Connor was just saying there, if you go out with StreamYard and go back in, maybe. It looks like your mic is completely disconnected. So maybe if you want to try jumping out and coming back in. Perfect, nice one. Shane here saying Matip is in the top 5 centre-backs in the league when he's fit, and he's always ready after injury. Shane, no, just don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass yourself.
Shane's just trying to get me riled up. It's all he's trying to do. It's not going to happen, lad. I already had the fishing pole out the last 2 days, and they were biting on everything me and Marcelo were saying to them. I can't wait to win tomorrow. I honestly can't. It's going to shut so many Liverpool fans up. Because to be honest with you, look, they were walking around with their chests out. Rightly so, I would too. They were walking around with their chest out, thinking they're going to steamroll teams. And it's come to an end now, and it really is hurting them. You can see in their fan base the pain it's causing them. And I'm absolutely delighted.
Yeah, and speaking of Shane and speaking of Rob as well, Shane and Rob will be joining us tomorrow after the game to discuss whatever happens, win, lose or draw for either team. We'll all be here to chat. And Rob has recently launched his own podcast at the Last Minute Winner podcast. Make sure to go over and subscribe there for his first video, which I'm sure will be coming up soon. He says hoping to be over here in a joyous mood tomorrow night after a Liverpool victory. Well, I'm afraid to say, Rob, that will not be the case. It's 3 points in the bag for Spurs. Take a few more comments.
I have a question for you, actually. If it's a draw, who's the point better for, Liverpool or Tottenham?
Liverpool, absolutely. Because look, like Spurs are the favourites going into this game, as we should be. Liverpool just not good enough at the moment. They're dropping points left, right, and centre. Losing at home to Burnley. Losing Southampton as well. I think was it a draw they got at Newcastle? It's you need to look at recent form in games like this, and that does point towards Spurs, and it's the best chance we have, as you've said, in a long time to actually get some points on the board at Liverpool, and we can't afford to slip up, because I think if we lose this game tomorrow, if we don't maybe even if we draw, I think it will be time to just start thinking about top 4 rather than getting back into that title race. And I think that's the case with every big game we have now from now until the end of the season, and even those games that we've been dropping points in recently, the likes of Fulham, Wolves, and all that. I think every game is really important right now when we're really close to getting back into a title race, but we're also really close to dropping out of it as well. So I think anything less than 3 points is good for Liverpool, and they'll take that result. And the majority of Liverpool fans I've spoken to, the reasonable ones, not Shane and Rob, have said they'll take a draw this week. So
yeah,
I think I think that tells you everything. Do you think a draw would be a good result for Liverpool?
It'd be a great. Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a great result for Liverpool. To be honest, they pick up a draw against us. After that, then they can build on that and start steamrolling again. So for me, not only for Tottenham, but for the rest of the league, I think the rest of the league want us to win this, because if we win this, Liverpool are in big trouble, and it might start forcing Jurgen Klopp to kind of mix things up, which again could be detrimental to Liverpool in the end. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which would be absolutely ideal if that did happen, to be honest with you. So for me, I think we need the 3 points. I think, look, because Liverpool have hurt us so much in the past, and even on the worst day, they tend to just get the job done against us. I think a draw would be. It'd be a good result for Tottenham in a way, but I have all my hopes pinned on 3 points, and I'd be very disappointed if we don't win tomorrow, especially because there's no better time. Liverpool are there for the taking right now. Their pants are pulled down. They're there for the taking. It's time to do them. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, we just need to get the job done. Rob is saying Joel Matip is criminally underrated, a quality footballer who can also defend very well. I wouldn't say he's criminally underrated. I do think he's a good defender, but I would not say he's anywhere near the top 5 defenders in the league. Not at all.
He's that good. He's that good. They picked him up on a free. That's how good he is.
Exactly. And look, any defender would look good alongside Virgil van Dijk. You can put Eric Dier alongside him, and he looked like one of the best defenders in the world. Connor with the Anfield Agenda as well as saying he can't get on, lads. Craig said, come on for a match reaction. No worries at all, Connor. Craig, if you are still watching, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for letting us know there, Connor.
I just want to say I have huge respect for the Anfield Agenda and the lads there. I really do. They're absolutely smashing out there, and fair play to them. Beat them up. They're absolutely brilliant, I have to say. They're doing a great job on YouTube. Keep it up, lads. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoy watching them as well. And Martin here is even a United fan, says he likes Craig. He's watched his highlights of the United Liverpool watch along. He's passionate but fair. Absolutely. And that's what this is about. At the end of the day, we are fans.
But we want to come on here and we don't want to be biased. We don't want to be, just purely talking up our own team. And I think Craig is someone who does that really, really well. And it's, testament to him and the growth his channel has seen recently as well. So it was a pleasure to have him on, and I'd love to have him on for Match Reaction as well. But David, I suppose we might as well wrap it up there. But before we go, we're going to take some score predictions, which is almost always the most worrying and concerning part of the stream. But come on, give us your prediction.
Look, I'm going to go big. I'm going to go brave. I'm going to go 3-0. They came to Tottenham before, and Lovren had that disaster class. They ended up losing 4-1. I think you're going to see something of the same. I think you're going to see Liverpool capitulate. And to be honest with you, it probably helped them in a way as well, because it might turn their hand to go and buy something in the market for Jurgen Klopp, like it did with Lovren. Like we effectively ended Lovren's career. So for me, I'm going big. I'm going 3-0. I think we are on form. And I can only see Spurs winning tomorrow. I firmly believe it. There's no way Liverpool are coming to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and turning us over. There's not a hope of it. Look, against Anfield, you go, you sit everyone back, and you try and nick the game. At our stadium, at home, I'd like to think that we're going to be on the front foot a bit more than what we were at Anfield, a bit more attacking than what we were at Anfield. And I firmly believe if we start fast, we have the most goals in the earliest parts of the games in the Premier League. So for me, if we start fast, get that goal, the pressure build on Liverpool, all them negative feelings will come back, which is fantastic. They probably start welling up with a few tears. And then, they come on to us. They be naive, hopefully, and we catch them on the counter. And I firmly believe Bergwijn is going to score tomorrow, and that's going to be your headlines Friday, especially after the abuse he got.
Absolutely, yeah. Marcelo there seems to think Ndombele has the edge in who he's calling Thiago Alcantara win a game. Absolutely love that, and I think I agree with you there as well. I just want to thank Elliot Walsh for becoming our latest channel member. Elliot, thank you so much. There'll be a couple of videos coming out soon. After every single watch along, there's going to be player ratings videos for channel members only. I'm going to be doing some more transfer stuff soon for channel members, getting your opinion on stuff that I'm going to bring into videos as well. So Elliot, I can assure you, you'll get your money's worth from that the channel membership. Anyone else, if you do want to become a channel member, hit that join button down below, and everything will be explained for you there. Make sure to get your score predictions in the live chat here as well. James saying 2-1, Oscar as well saying 2-1 to Spurs. And you know what? I'm going to go with the same result. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. To be honest, I said the same ahead of the Wickham game. I don't predict Spurs to keep clean sheets anymore. And of course, that's concerning. And I think it does say a lot about our defence, mainly from set pieces. But at the end of the day, if I'm predicting a win, I think that's all you can ask for as a fan, to be able to do that. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. Liverpool are going to be so vulnerable. I think it probably be the strongest team they've been able to play in quite a while. And on paper, their 11 will probably be stronger than ours. If they do manage to, if they do have Henderson and Fabinho and Matip at the back, they have Henderson, Wijnaldum and Thiago in the middle. It's a really strong 11. That, of course, front three as well. But I just think Tottenham right now play the exact type of football that Liverpool do not want to go up against. It's the football that got Burnley to 3 points at Anfield last week, and it's not the way Man United played, but Man United played into Liverpool's hands by being attacking, and they still managed to get that game over. So Liverpool just right now, they are not good enough, and I think Tottenham will be able to take advantage of that. Elliot saying keep up the great content, guys. Really appreciate that, Elliot. James Watson saying Stevie's a big game player, got unlucky last time. I hope he gets the winner. And what a story that would be if Steven Bergwijn managed to get that the final goal to give us the 3 points. Anyway, look, it's been a fantastic stream. We've had some fantastic guests on with us. Massive thanks again to Luke, Sim, and Craig as well. Massive thanks to you, David. Before we let you go, do you want to let us know what's coming up on your channel soon?
Yeah, I dropped a preview today with Chris from LFC Day Trippers, so make sure you get over and watch that. That was a good preview. I will tell you, I did predict 2-1 in the preview, but I've done Charlie Stanley since, and I've been on here. I'm absolutely gassed up. And then on Friday, I will be doing a match review. I'll be putting out a Premier League prediction show with Charlie. Then on Saturday, I'll be putting a review for the Brighton game. And then on Sunday, let me see, we'll be doing live watch along on your channel, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then we have our new show hopefully coming out later on that day, which is fantastic. But I do want to say, if Jose, Harry Kane, Son, Ndombele, Højbjerg, I know some of you do watch us. I'm not stupid. I know you watch the Fan TV. Please beat Liverpool tomorrow. Jose, don't throw any curveballs in the starting lineup. Kane, please be at your very best. You're the god. You're the number 10. You wear the jersey so gracefully. Please get a couple of goals. Sonny, I know you have it in you to hurt Liverpool again. Put one in the net. Stevie B, please do it for me. I want you to have the headlines Friday. You deserve it. Pierre and Ndombele in the midfield. Please please, absolutely prove me right about Thiago. Please prove me right. He's a little girl, and all you have to do is smash him, take the ball off him. He doesn't want to know. I'm telling you now, Spurs fans, don't come into this game tomorrow with the Spurs, your Dr. Tottenham mentality. We're definitely going to take the 3 points. We're going to be up for it. The players are going to be up for it. And Jose is going to be up for it. Don't forget, Jose and Klopp had a spat at Anfield after the game. So Jose is not going to want to lose this. In Jose we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Simple as that. See you tomorrow night, Rob. Marcelo saying 5-1. Maybe too optimistic, but look, I'll take it. You know, I wouldn't turn that down. Anyway, guys, what's coming up on this channel? We've got tomorrow night a live watch along for the game, starting at 15 minutes before the kickoff, or before lineups. We'll be running straight through an hour before kickoff the game itself, and we're doing a post-match show on the same stream as well with Rob from the Last Minute Winner podcast, Shane and Marcelo as well. So there'll be 5 of us there. It's bound to be a fantastic debate about what we do see tomorrow night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So we'll be going for about 4 hours then. So please make sure to pop in at some stage and support the channel and for some fantastic content as well. On Saturday we'll have the pre-game view for the Brighton game. Hopefully have some guests on for that as well. And on Sunday we'll have the watch along for Brighton against Spurs as well, kicking off at I think 7:15 at the Amex Stadium. So make sure to smash that subscribe button down below if you do want to get some of that content. Hit this like button if you have enjoyed the stream as well, and if you do want access to exclusive content and exclusive member call-in shows, as we will be running tomorrow before the Liverpool game and on Sunday against Brighton, hit that join button down below and everything will be explained for you there. So to everyone who's joined us over the last 50 or so minutes, the 3 guests we've had as well, thank you so much for the support on the channel. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and as always, thanks for watching.